What's going on, everybody? Welcome in. It's the Wager Alarm live stream. I'm Howard Bender. With me, of course, Craig Mish. And this is where we kind of lick our wounds from a rough week, and then we look ahead and see what's what. Craig, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. It's great to be with you, Howard. Yeah, tough week for us last week for sure. Every game now coming down to the fourth quarter. It's the most fourth quarter lead changes in 25 years in the NFL. So you're feeling really good about games in the fourth, and then you're feeling bad, and then you're feeling good, and then you're feeling bad again. It's like that meme of the woman going whoop, whoop, and then whoop, it's like it was watching the games, especially on Sunday, Saturday. We'll get to it, but it was really cut and dry with our picks Saturday. We were 2-2 in college football, and it was like 2 picks were really bad, 2 picks were really good, and it just was plain to see and obvious.
That New Mexico State game, that got a little dicey at the end.
I was a little
scared. I know I was getting 31. I was getting 30.5 points, and I was worried. It was close, dude. It was close.
It was close. But that's what happens, when you're getting that many points. Usually it does come down to the end. But the NFL games this week in particular were more compelling for me because I felt watching that we were on the right side of the games that we lost, which
bad
is rare.
Beat Central.
Yeah, I feel like we had some bad beats there, unfortunately. Look, in the end, this is going to happen throughout the season. Some games are going to go our way and some are not. I think that you said it best. We just get back up there and fight another day.
Yeah, no doubt. Listen, I'm going to share with everybody. If you haven't checked the tickets over at Wager Alarm,
don't look.
I got to do it, dude. Come on, listen, because we were on the right side, right? A blocked punt turned the whole game around. Carolina was winning. They were covering. It was fine. And a blocked punt in the fourth quarter. And then we were withstanding a horrible Sam Darnold game. And then that blocked punt screwed us over. And then he throws a pick at the end.
Yep.
And we're toast. So we're done there. And that was again, we were in control of it till that very end.
Yeah. And by the way, can I say something about that game? If you had to pick that game 10 times over at halftime, what would you pick? You'd pick Carolina. If you watch the first half of that game, you're like, wait a second. Carolina cannot play any worse. Philadelphia is obviously terrible. That on Monday on my show, Howard, was what I was I was like staring at the screen going, how did we lose this game? Philadelphia did nothing for 3.5 quarters. And I felt that Carolina gave them the game. There's no other way to put it. That Carolina gave Philadelphia the win in that game.
I was actually more angry at the Minnesota game.
That could be true. That's a good one too.
Because so I'm on the Fantasy Alarm live stream, right? And in the middle of the live stream, Matt Sells, our producer here tonight, whispers into our ear, Dalvin Cook officially inactive. Mm-hmm. All right, so now I've got to change the example lineups over at Fantasy Alarm and get all of that stuff going for the DFS, for the Daily Fantasy Sports World. But I'm doing this live stream answering questions about start sits and stuff like that. And as soon as I get off of the live stream, I go and I'm like making all these changes, and I put Alex Madison everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere, bargain price, looking good. He has just a phenomenal game,
right.
An absolutely phenomenal game. And there at the end of the game in the fourth quarter, he's trying to stretch out for some extra yardage, right? He's like fighting for extra yards when you just need to go down and stay in bounds, dude. And he fumbles the ball. And as soon as Detroit recovered it, and I saw that they were in field goal, I was like, we're done.
Yeah. We're done.
There's zero chance. Do I have to rely on the kicker missing the field goal? Oh, no, they just scored a touchdown. Never mind. We're done.
Yeah. No, listen, the three losses that we had, could have easily been wins. And that's just the nature of doing this. It's like, again, I personally last week, I was not mad, even though the record was not good. I was like, okay, that's one of those things. The other thing that happened last week is the public crushed it. The public won. The favorites won more than they lost last week. So, Monday night evened it out a little bit more, but more favorites than dogs covered. When that happens, we are not going to do well. And it's funny. We left the live stream on Friday. We're like 3 favorites. We're dead. And then it kind of played out that way. Yeah, but in general, yeah, that game, and then obviously, Minnesota was that. I mean, listen, if Minnesota just kicks a field goal in that spot, we probably cover. But then the final game, and I don't know if we were on the right side or the wrong side. We were on the right side and wrong side about 10 different times in that game. But I really felt all along that we were going to win the Bengals game. I really
I did too.
Like
from the moment we made the pick, from the moment we talked about it a week ago on Tuesday, we were like, Bengals. We're in on the Bengals, and we just stuck with it.
I felt so good about that. And then I know it required Mason Crosby. Listen, we were never going to lose it. It was just about pushing or winning.
Right.
But it was Mason Crosby. Once he missed the second one, or the third one, and then the kicker for Cincinnati kicks it and he thought it went in. I was about to text you. I was like, yeah, we deserved that one. Like with all the bad luck that we had last week. And then I was like, are you kidding me? Like, really? This is going to happen? And I mean, I can't say that we necessarily were on the right side there because it could have easily been a push, but that kind of game is one in a few weeks. We're going to look back and we're going to go, okay, because we lost that or we pushed that one, we won another game, ahead. So, yeah, that was tough. Buffalo was obviously a great pick. We were on that from the beginning of the week, so that felt really good. Let's go to college real quick before we wrap up and go to the other games.
New Mexico State.
New Mexico State was a win. Utah destroyed USC.
Destroyed them.
Old Dominion was the worst pick of the year that I've had. I apologize. I'm so sorry. That was the worst pick of the year by far. Actually, Arkansas may have been the worst pick of the year, losing to Georgia. But Old Dominion was going to... Marshall was a terrible pick. And then what was the fourth one? The fourth one was no good, too.
No, the fourth one was Oregon State.
You know what? That was not a bad one. That was not a bad one. That was a back-and-forth game for a long time. Oregon State had a chance to win and cover, and then Washington State did. I mean, it's a loss. It's not the right side, but I don't feel like my analysis was totally off on that. So I feel like got back on track here a little bit in college, 2-2 there. And so our Golden Nugget picks were 2-2 in college, and then in the pro, do we have Buffalo in that one?
3-3-1 in the Golden Nugget this week.
That's that's fine. I have no complaints there.
And 1-3-1 in the Super Contest.
Right, that was the hard one, yes.
The Ravens, by the way, was our third loss.
And by the way, we were on the wrong side Monday night, very clearly. Very clear. Very clear. Yeah.
All right, so 3-3-1 in the Nugget, 1-3-1 in the Super Contest. Let's start taking a look ahead here. Mm-hmm. Looking at some of the pro lines. Might as well start with the Thursday night football game, right? Okay. Bucks, Eagles.
Yeah.
Bucks are a 6.5-point favorite. How are the Bucks, with the way that they're annihilating everybody, how are the Bucks only a 6.5-point favorite over the Eagles? Even on the road, dude. Even on the road.
Yeah, look, and another thing about this game in particular, and I'm partial a little bit to the Eagles, as I've talked about. I like their general manager. We went to college together. But so I tend to like picking the Eagles. But I mean, if you watched last week's game and Carolina handed them a win, I mean, can the Eagles stay even in this game with Tampa Bay? I suppose the question is, Howard, with the Tampa Bay, I'm shocked. Is it true that the Bucs have the #1 run defense in the NFL and the last pass defense in the NFL? Is that accurate?
It's crazy, right? Yeah.
Wow.
If I'm looking at here you go, DVOA numbers, which offer up the rank there. Tampa Bay ranks. Oh no. Well, am I looking at the right one here? Hold the phone here, Craig.
I think they're first against the run and last against the pass.
They're third against the run and they're 18th against the pass.
Really? Oh, I thought I saw something different. Okay.
They should be. Well, I mean, that's just DVOA. I'm sure that if you look at the numbers and you look at the fact that they've probably given up more passing yardage than, here you go, passing yards per game. The Bucs have given up the most, 314 passing yards per game. Only 6 touchdowns through the air, though.
Yeah, and Hurts really is running more than he's throwing at this point. Smith looks pretty good. The running back situation seems a little bit unsettled. The Eagles did win without Lane Johnson. I thought that was one that never happened, but finally that happened last week. They won without him.
It was a blocked punt. It had nothing to do with the offensive line.
I know. It makes me that game really burned me because I got to tell you, after watching that game, I'm worried about Darnold again. I got to say, if that's not a one-time thing, they picked the wrong guy. I know that like everyone's freaking out in Charlotte right now, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, now we're back to what we were again." And look, if Joe Brady can't make Darnold great, then there's a problem. And he looked fantastic through the first few weeks. They really scaled down the game plan. And it's interesting that when McCaffrey got hurt a couple of Thursdays ago, they did the same thing against Houston where they just like stopped playing. And that is a little concerning. So it makes me wonder if they trust Darnold in that spot or they trust their offensive line. But digressing. Yeah, I don't know. Probably going to pass this game. I don't think we would use it on a Thursday night. There are some other games that do interest me more, and there actually are some Sunday line movement games too as well. One, I'm guessing you could guess one of them.
One of them I can get. You know what? What that you want to that you are dying to pick?
Oh no, I mean thinking of the news that came down with John Gruden last night, I suppose.
I texted you that. You sent me a clown face in return.
I mean usually isn't our narrative when the coach gets fired, the team wins? Like,
when the coach gets fired, the team wins or covers the following week. But that's what I said. I said, what happens if it's a racist resignation? And you sent me a clown emoji.
I know, because I was just mad about the week, I think.
Like, hurt my feelings.
Where is this line? I know, I'm sorry, I'm not looking at the camera.
It's Denver's 3.5-point favorite.
Yeah, they opened up at 2. They're up to 4. So, gosh, yeah. So we probably have to take the Raiders this week, yeah. Probably have to take the Raiders. I would assume this is a rally for the team type thing, yeah. Didn't happen for Jacksonville, by the way, this past week. They didn't show up for that guy, but he's still coaching, and Gruden is not. So I would definitely, my early lean would be hoping we could just get some more points when this line comes out tomorrow, and taking the Raiders plus the points. Yuck. Yeah. By the way, Denver is back to exactly who they were. No question about it.
Yeah, they are.
No question about it. No doubt.
Oh, man. All right, let's look at a couple of the spreads, whether or not we want to touch it or not. I have no interest in Miami, Jacksonville, in London.
No.
And it offends me that, like how come, where are the marquee teams playing in London? Like, how come, are we really putting as a country and an organization like the NFL, are we really putting our best foot forward by sending Jacksonville, Miami, the Jets, the Falcons? Like, are we really, why aren't we showing, why aren't the Bucks and the Rams going toe-to-toe in London? Why?
Oh, the NFL wants their ratings too, and a 9:30 a.m. game is not going to get great ratings here. By the way, the Jaguars always play in London, and Miami has the biggest fan base of any team in London. Ironically, I don't know why, but they do. So
I need reasoning for that. I need reasoning for that.
I have no idea, but no, not interested in that. Yeah. So I guess with sort of knowing who the teams are now at this point, it makes it a little bit easier in making the picks. I know the record wouldn't have represented that last week, but I do think that as time goes by in the season, you get a better feel for these teams. Yeah,
probably. I'm kind of eyeballing the bigger spreads because I'm curious to see if there's any line movement there. Number one, Rams, Giants. Mm-hmm. Like, I'd love for it to stay like this, and then Daniel Jones gets cleared via concussion protocol, and the line ends up going down to 9, 8.5.
Let me see what we got right here now. I don't know why.
I'm looking at 10.5 right now.
Yeah, it opened up at 7 and went to 12, and now it's back down to 10.5. Listen. I watched that game with Dallas last week. Dallas is playing out of this world. That is true. But up until the point Daniel Jones got hurt, you were feeling like there was a pretty good chance the Giants could cover that game. I'm sorry. I was feeling like the Giants were staying in that game with Dallas. When Glennon came in, it was a wrap, right? And Barkley got hurt and all those other guys. If Glennon is starting in this game, there's no way I could back the Giants. I could not do it. But getting 11 or 12 at home with Daniel Jones, sure, and we won't know until the weekend. So you're right. We may get some value there if we choose to take the Giants on Sunday if he is cleared. Now, the line sort of is telling you he's not going to play, so we'll just have to monitor that as the week goes on. But you're right, there are a lot of interesting lines this week too. What is the game of the week? Chargers Ravens? Is that like the game of the week? Do you think?
Yeah, easily. That's going to be a fun one to watch. That's and it's not a primetime game, but that's the game that like you always say, I don't want to bet this game. I just want to watch it and enjoy it.
Right.
Chargers Ravens is that game for me. I mean, just the comeback last night was fantastic. But it's a good offense anyway. With Lamar Jackson and Hollywood Brown, like Marquise Brown, how that dude consistently gets open.
So open.
Is just what's that?
He gets so open. You're right. I don't know.
So open. Like it's ridiculous. He's caught a touchdown in every game this season except for one. And that one, 3 drops. Right? But those drops, he was wide open. It was amazing how this guy gets it blows me away. But then on the other hand, you're watching the Chargers and you're watching what Joe Lombardi's done to this offense. You're watching what it's done to Mike Williams. Like this is a game that I'm in heaven with. I love it. If I were to have to make a lean, I would just say the Chargers because I want to be on the side of the team that's getting points in this game. That's the only reason.
I think that's a fair way to look at it, but I would tell you that there is no value on the Chargers because they're playing very well. Mm-hmm. And on top of it, you have a percentage of bettors who don't watch the games and look, and they took the Chargers last week. And they want to take them again this week. Why? Because they won and covered against the spread, and it's only natural to feel good about a team that you bet on to bet them again when the truth is they had no business covering that game. If Eckler falls down, they kick the field goal. The Chargers win by 2. They do not cover. This line is different this week. I am telling you now, that's the way that it works here. So while I do agree with you with getting the points here, there is no value on the Chargers. I would lean toward taking the Ravens. I know it's hard to do given the way the Chargers are playing, but their defense isn't very good. They would not have covered last week. These are things that you always have to keep in mind when the lines are made. Had the Chargers won and not covered, I don't know. I mean, I think that the Ravens could be maybe a little bit bigger of a favorite, 3.5 or 4, and here you're getting 3. So a fun game for sure. Carolina was -1 at home. That line is now flipped, and the Vikings are now -1 in Carolina.
What's that telling you? That everybody's afraid that Sam Darnold is no mas?
Yeah, probably. It's a pretty big overreaction. If Carolina had beaten Philadelphia 19-10 last week, and Philadelphia hadn't come all the way back, Carolina would be 4 or 5 point favorites this week for sure against Minnesota. They would be, and I mean, this just tells you that there's a lot of nervousness with that. I don't know. I thought we'd be riding Carolina a lot this season, and after last week, I'm not sure. I don't feel bad about losing the game. I just feel bad about backing Darnold.
See, I don't feel. Listen, I mean, everybody has a crap game, right? I mean, it's just it happens. Like not everybody performs up to task for all 17 games. You show me one guy who does, and
So you want to take Cleveland? I'm sorry. You want to take Carolina? You want to go back to it?
I mean, I wouldn't be afraid to go back to Carolina because of Darnold. Like, I think that what he's got going on right now with Brady and Rule, I think that this is workable. I don't think this is, something that, it's not like getting into his head. This isn't like, they were talking about on the broadcast last night about how Carson Wentz and everything going on in Philly, and it just messed him up so much that he comes over to Indianapolis and Frank Reich has to just rebuild him completely. I don't think that's what you have to do here with Darnold. I'm not afraid of taking Carolina.
Yeah. All right. So listen, I could back Carolina again this week. And I think that you made a really good point earlier, which I wasn't even going to bring up because I forgot about it. You're right. If the punt does not get blocked, Carolina wins the game. So if we eliminate that, then we probably should be taking Carolina again. And we're getting some value here with not really with a point. I mean, Carolina has to beat Minnesota. I'm not a huge Minnesota fan, by the way. So.
And I don't like what they're doing there in Minnesota either. I mean, we've seen the offense sputter. We've seen the defense play okay. We've seen the defense play poorly. So I'm not enamored with Minnesota either. I'd listen. I would love for like all the Darnold talk to start up right now, and that Carolina starts, and the line moves again.
Okay, so we'll look toward that. Cardinals at the Browns. Browns are -2.5. Again, Browns should have covered last week for sure. Cardinals' effort, I thought, was pretty poor, all things considered, against a very undermanned San Francisco team. We've seen running quarterbacks who are not prepared in the past go down big, run all over the place, and backdoor. We've seen that a lot through the years.
I think
Now
he's
I know,
hurt.
but I know right. I know Carolina. I'm sorry. I know Arizona covered, but boy, this is a tough one for me. I don't know. I guess I'll check back on this on Friday. I'm not sure.
I think Kyler Murray's hurt again.
Is he?
I think his shoulder's messed up. He got taken down. He got rid of the pass, but he got thrown down. Looked like he got a little awkward on, hit a little awkward on the shoulder. Same shoulder that was giving him problems last year.
Oh, we got to take Cleveland then if he's hurt. Obviously.
Oh yeah. Listen, if he's hurt, definitely. But I mean, it's something to watch. Like the practice reports here to watch, and nobody's talking about it. Like no Arizona. I was like looking through. No Arizona beat writers are talking about it. There's nothing written in any on any website about it. But if you were watching that game and you saw that and you saw the change from in Murray from what he was doing before. Remember last year he hurt his shoulder and then he wouldn't run.
Right.
So I think that's something that we're going to have to watch and see what they're doing with as far as practice reports go.
Okay. Yeah, the most picked game of the week for sure. Can tell you in advance. Usually pretty good with this. Will be Dallas. Dallas is -4 at New England. Everyone's going to be jumping up and down to take the Cowboys for sure. Very hard to look at that line and go, "Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?" After what I've seen, New England could barely beat Houston, right? New England is probably the pick this week. It appears to be to me.
I mean, I'll just do it to go against the Cowboys. You know that.
They opened up, Howard. Dallas opened up at -1. It's -4.5.
I don't see. What is it like? I mean, is this Vegas saying this is all Belichick and he's going to scheme successfully against it? Like the defense is good. It's not great. I mean, you look at the defense against Houston this past week, and they look like garbage.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know I watched that game actually. Mills looked really good for Houston, but the line is just screaming and yelling at the rooftop
to take Dallas. Yeah.
No, to take New England.
No. I mean, to the public.
Yes, for the public pick is Dallas. There's no question about it. Sometimes I look at the lines beforehand and the look ahead lines, and I was thinking like, even watching the game, I was like, New England will be a touchdown underdog, right, to Dallas, like. And even still getting 7, would you still back New England at that point? Like the way that Dallas is playing, maybe not. So they make it 4. They drag you into taking the Cowboys, but I would guess New England is going to keep this game close. And again, I know the end score between the Giants and Dallas was not close, but the Giants were fighting. When Daniel Jones was in there, he was keeping it close. And once he went out, that was it. So I probably will want to take New England this week. It's going to be the ugly pick of the week.
All right. Well, listen, I like ugly picks sometimes, no doubt about it.
All right.
What about the Monday night game? How about Buffalo 5.5 favorites over Tennessee? I mean, Buffalo's got they've got a great defense. They got a great run defense. They got a great pass defense. You focus in on stopping Derrick Henry, right? Like that's the goal. Like when I saw this matchup, I try to look at the line, guess the lines too. I thought this was going to be like a 7.5 point spread at least.
Monday night home dog, Howard.
Ugh. Jesus.
We're taking the Titans. Sorry. Bad news.
We're taking the Raiders no matter what. We're taking the home dog on Monday night. We're taking New England against Dallas.
And we're 3-0.
We're going back to the Panthers with +1. Are we taking all dogs, all ugly dogs this week?
Listen, things can change before Friday. We'll figure it out. One more game that I do want to mention here: Seattle, Pittsburgh. How about this one? So Pittsburgh. I did not anticipate Pittsburgh being a favorite of more than 3. in any game the rest of the season. So essentially, Pittsburgh plays at home against a really bad team, and they're -3 because they're not good either. But basically home field advantage in the NFL is not 3 anymore. It's like 2, 2.5. But let's just assume 3. Okay. They're 4.5 against Seattle, but like. There's no way I could take Seattle. There's just no way. There's no way. We can't do that, right? They
tried out Blake Bortles. They worked out Blake Bortles today.
Can you imagine we take Seattle and they get pummeled like 41-0 and we're like, what in the world were we doing backing Geno Smith? There's no way we could do that. So
I would never in a million years do that.
Can't do it. So it's Pittsburgh or nothing in that
Pittsburgh
game.
or nothing.
And I don't even like Pittsburgh at all. I think that they're supremely overrated. They did not play well against Denver. Denver just went back to who they were. Vic Fangio on the headset. What's it? 4th and 2. All right, punt. 4th and 3. All right, punt. All right, 4th and 1. All right. Denver is right back to that all over again with Teddy. And then the fourth quarter, so we're down like 3 touchdowns. Okay, now we'll just start going for it. What happens? They start getting all the 4th downs, and then of course they come back and they almost tie the game. And this is a terrible coach team, Denver. Terrible.
Pat Shurmur, that offensive coordinator. All right, 2 games real quick here. One's a division game. One's I don't even know what. Packers-Bears. Packers favored by 4.5. Justin Fields obviously going to start. Any thoughts on that?
Under. Every time you say Bears, I say the under.
Under. That works for me.
Yeah, not really. Probably Green Bay. Probably Green Bay because last week was that sort of scary week for them. The Bears are just not good. They're not good. No, they won 2 in a row.
Something's keeping Matt Nagy employed there. Last one, Bengals Lions. It's only a 3.5 point spread here.
I saw that one.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You don't know on that one?
Yeah.
I'll lean Cincinnati on that one. I think everybody's like, Detroit's playing everybody close, everybody tight. That's fine. 3 touchdowns for Jamar Chase later.
I did want to mention before we go, I know we're almost out of time. I'm going to pull the line up here. Maybe you can find it for me. I'm having a hard time with lines today. Georgia is now for Saturday. Georgia is now the number 1 team in the country, and they play. How about this, Howard? This is crazy. Georgia, the number 1 team in the country, plays Kentucky, undefeated, the number 11 team in the country. This shows you what kind of season college football is having with everybody having 1 loss. Number 1 versus 11. You think, okay, what is Georgia favored by? Well, we know they're just crushing everybody, but, 7, 10, 12, 13, 15, 18,
23?
23. 23-point favorites. And Kentucky's in the top 15. And it's not Alabama.
Remember that time we took Arkansas against Georgia?
I don't speak that language. What? Breaking up. What?
Hello.
That is an interesting game. Also, another interesting line too. Iowa has moved up to number 2 in the country after beating Penn State last week, 23-20. Very good comeback win for them late. They are 11.5 points against Purdue. If history is telling us anything with this season, we could be headed toward a college football playoff where not only are all 4 teams not undefeated, but Howard, I don't even know if we're going to have 2 or 3 teams or even 1 undefeated at the end of the season. Because last week was the craziest week of college football. Alabama, of course, went down. You had some other team. Penn State lost, of course, to Iowa. So no Clemson, no Alabama in the number 1 spot. It's like unheard of at this point. So Saturday should be a lot of fun. Already targeting a couple of good picks, I think, in college football this week. So when we get to Friday, though, we'll finalize that.
Is one of them Texas State over Troy?
Texas State? No, I don't even know. I think about it.
Listen, man. Just trying to steer you away from the Georgias and Iowas of the world here.
I think I got a couple good ones.
You do? You got a couple of good ones for me?
I think I got a couple good ones and a couple bad ones. So we'll go 2 and 2.
Nevada laying 14 to Hawaii. In Nevada. Give it to me.
Howard Bender texted me 5 a.m. Great game. What time is it?
All right, that's gonna do it for us here on the Wager Alarm live stream. Catch up with me and Craig on Friday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, as we make our picks for the Super Contest. Enjoy the Thursday night game. For Craig Mish, I'm Howard Bender. We'll catch you next time.